The planet Vegeta was a place of chaos and destruction. King Vegeta had a deal with Frieza to conquer other planets, but this was something that turned the Saiyans into looters and bandits. They didn't know how to do anything else. Goku, born with the name Kakarot, had escaped from the planet as a child, refusing to follow the steps of his race and seeking to be stronger to take the planet Vegeta down the right path. This is how Goku was raised on Earth, changing his name from Kakarot to Goku. There he would have great adventures, where in each of them he would become stronger. Goku would elevate his power to great levels, and when he was ready, he decided to return to the planet Vegeta. His friend Bulma had built him a ship for him to travel, with an increased gravity chamber equipped inside. "Very well, Goku. I wish you good luck. I hope you can save your planet from that tyrant of King Vegeta," Bulma said. "Thank you, Bulma. If all goes well, we will never see each other again, because I will be the king," Goku said. "Well, it's a way of saying it, but I could go see you," Bulma said. "No, you couldn't," Goku said. "The gravity of the planet Vegeta is very strong. You would die crushed." "Oh, I understand," Bulma said. "Anyway, I wish you good luck, Goku." Goku would take his ship and begin the journey. On the other hand, King Vegeta was at the banquet with his little son, Prince Vegeta, and his members of the royalty. They celebrated the great money that they had achieved after their last conquest. "This planet was very promising," King Vegeta said. "The money that Frieza has left us has been abundant. It is a pity that we have lost 100 men in this war," Nappa of Kaido said. "They are sacrifices that I am willing to run," King Vegeta said. "Vegeta, son, you must be happy. The kingdom is strengthening. I will leave you a good inheritance." "Whatever," little Vegeta said in a bad mood. Vegeta didn't seem to really care how the planet was going. He only thought about one thing: getting stronger. The days would pass and Goku would reach the planet Vegeta. Without wasting time, he would go to see his parents. "Kakarot!" disconcerted Jean said. "You're alive!" "Of course, why wouldn't I be?" Goku said. "Son, so much time has passed that we thought something had happened to you," Bardock said. "It's good to see you. You don't know how much we have missed you." Goku would look at his parents with a nostalgic smile. It was a reunion that he had not imagined during his years on Earth. They were still the same, although the passage of time was noticeable on their faces. Bardock, with his warrior look, seemed to remain firm, while Jean, with his tender and warm look, could not contain his tears. The atmosphere between them was filled with repressed emotions. "I'm glad to see you again," Goku said, breaking the silence. "But I haven't come back just for nostalgia. There's something bigger I have to do here." "What are you talking about, son?" Bardock asked with his serious tone. He knew that after so long, Goku would not have returned to the planet Vegeta without a clear purpose. Goku would sigh, looking at the desolate horizon of the planet that once was his home. The chaos and war that plagued the Saiyan society had corrupted him. He had come with a mission. This planet is in a cycle without end of destruction and death. I don't like what we've done. I don't like how the Saiyans have become Frieza tools, conquering planets for their own benefit. He would explain Goku by squeezing his fists. Jean would look at him with concern. She had always been more peaceful than the other Saiyans, and she could understand what her son felt. Bardock, however, would raise an intriguing eyebrow. "And what do you intend to do, Kakarot?" Bardock asked, using his birth name. Goku would stare him steadily. "I'm going to challenge King Vegeta. I'm going to take the throne and change the fate of this planet. We will no longer be the Frieza puppets. The Saiyans will be free. But for that, I have to face the king," Goku said seriously. Bardock would let a low laugh escape, although without mocking. "You are strong, Kakarot. I feel it in your energy. You have grown, but King Vegeta is a fierce warrior." "It won't be easy," Bardock warned. "It won't be easy for him," Goku said. "I'm going to defeat him, and then I will bring peace to this planet." Gene would approach his son and hug him tightly. "I know you'll do the right thing, Kakarot. I know you can change all this. Just be careful," Gene said. Goku agreed. After saying goodbye to his parents, without wasting any more time, he would fly straight to the palace of King Vegeta. The imposing building of Saiyan architecture stood as a reminder of power and conquest, but for Goku, it was simply a symbol of what was wrong with his race. When Goku lands in front of the palace, he would be received by Saiyan guards who would try to stop him. However, his power was overwhelming. With a slight increase in his energy, the guards would be unconscious on the ground, unable to bear his presence. Inside the palace, King Vegeta, still enjoying the fruits of his last plunder, would get up when he felt Goku's presence. "Who dares to interrupt my banquet?" King Vegeta roared, hitting the table with fury. Goku would enter the great hall of the throne, walking calmly with a determined look. "I'm Kakarot, but on Earth they know me as Goku. I have come to put an end to your reign, King Vegeta. This planet will no longer serve Frieza, and you won't do it either. It's time for the true leader to take the throne," Goku said seriously. King Vegeta frowned, with a mixture of anger and surprise. "Kakarot, the son of Bardock, I heard that an insignificant planet had been sent. How dare you come here and challenge me?" King Vegeta said annoyingly. Without more words, King Vegeta would launch a direct attack, trusting in his strength. But Goku wouldn't move. In the last second, he would deflect the attack with his hand without any effort. The difference in power was abysmal. "I warned you, King Vegeta," Goku said without undressing. "Your time is up." King Vegeta would attack again, releasing a barrage of energy. But Goku would simply disappear and reappear behind him, throwing a blow in the stomach that would make King Vegeta collapse to the ground. "You don't have the strength to stop me. Surrender, and I will let you live," Goku said with the same calm and undisturbed. King Vegeta, humiliated and defeated, would try to stand up, but before he could counterattack, Goku would knock him down with a single final blow. The room would be silent. The other Saiyans present were amazed. Nobody dared to challenge him. Goku's power was something out of the ordinary. Goku would approach the throne and sit down, looking at the warriors around him. "From now on, I will be the king of the Saiyans. No more meaningless wars. No more Frieza slaves. This planet will have a new course," Goku said seriously. "I hope I don't have to repeat it again." Suddenly, the little prince, who had observed everything from the shadows, would come forward. Furious, despite his youth, the pride of his lineage boiled in his blood. "This is not over, Kakarot," Vegeta screamed, with his fists trembling in rage. "Someday, I will return and defeat you. I will claim the throne that belongs to me." Goku looked at him seriously, but there was no hate in his eyes. "When you're stronger, I'll be here, Vegeta. Train well," Goku said, "but if you want the throne, you won't do the same as your father, so think things through." With those words, the young prince would flee the palace, full of determination and resentment. He knew he was no match for Goku, but he swore he would return someday, much more powerful. The days would pass, and the news that Goku had taken the throne would spread quickly all over the planet. The Saiyans, accustomed to the life of the conquest, were confused, but they did not dare to challenge their new king. Goku, for his part, would begin to reform the customs and traditions of his race, trying to teach them a new path, based on peace and cooperation. However, this new era of tranquility
would not last long. Frieza, the Galactic Emperor, had heard the news and was not happy. Goku was a problem, one that he had to solve immediately. "Wow, why doesn't a king want to conquer planets?" said Frieza. "I think I should take care of that." One day, while Goku was in the palace, he would feel a powerful energy approaching the planet. As he left, he would see in the distance a huge spaceship descending from the sky. Frieza's aura was unmistakable. The ship would land, and Frieza, with his classic sinister smile, would slowly descend from it, surrounded by his elite soldiers. "So, you are the famous Kakarot," said Frieza, with his eyes shining in malice. "It is Saiyan who has become king. I have come to give you a little warning." Goku would not answer immediately. He knew that this confrontation was inevitable. "If you really think you are going to rule this planet without conquering others in my name, you're very wrong," said Frieza. "I am the one who decides the fate of the Saiyans, and if you do not fulfill your duty, I will destroy this planet just like I did with so many others." Goku looked at him with a serious expression. "I will not allow you to destroy this planet, Frieza. Neither you nor anyone. The Saiyans will be free," said Goku. Frieza laughed with his cruel laugh resonating all over the place. "Very well, Kakarot. Then we'll see how strong you are. Get ready, because I'm going to erase your existence and that of your entire planet," said Frieza when exploding his ki. Goku would prepare for battle, knowing that the fate of the planet Vegeta and his race depended on this confrontation. The sky was reddening in the face of what everyone understood to be the end of the planet Vegeta. The evil Emperor would throw a ki laser at Goku, but he would reject it as if nothing. The attack would come out, shot to his side, generating a great explosion. "How is it possible?" said Frieza, disconcerted. Frieza could not believe that Goku had so much power. "When I came to claim the crown, not only did I know that I could defeat King Vegeta, I did it knowing that you wouldn't like it and that I could beat you," said Goku. "Kakarot, do you really think you can beat me?" said Frieza between teeth. "You only have a little more power than the average, but don't think this is enough. I noticed something nervous," said Goku as he crossed his arms. "Then the rumors are true. You fear the Saiyans, and that's why you haven't messed with us." "What did you say?" said Frieza, furious. "You know, you're afraid of us. Now I will defeat you and free the Saiyans from your tyranny." Goku would explode his feet to the maximum. The ground trembled while everyone was waiting for the result. The fate of the planet Vegeta depended on this fight. "Very well, whenever you want, you can start, Frieza. But I warn you, I am not an ordinary Saiyan. I am someone who was born to give a new direction to this planet." The atmosphere of the planet Vegeta was filled with tension. While Goku and Frieza faced each other, the silence among the spectators was overwhelming, only broken by the echo of Frieza's steps on the rocky ground, slowly approaching his opponent. "You have become very arrogant, Kakarot," said Frieza with his usual cold tone, while a sinister smile was drawn on his face. "Your confidence in defeating me will be your doom." Goku, with his arms crossed, remained motionless, observing Frieza without moving. He knew what was coming, a battle like no other, and his warrior instinct was more than ready. "If you really think you are going to let me destroy this planet, you are very wrong," Goku said, with his voice full of determination. His ki rose in response, a golden and bright aura enveloping his entire body. Frieza would be the first to attack, throwing himself at an impressive speed. Goku reacts just in time, blocking a powerful blow that would shake the ground under his feet. Both warriors would exchange blows at a speed that normal eyes could not follow. The sound of the impacts resounded like thunder in the dark sky of the beautiful planet. The battle would escalate quickly. Frieza, with his undisputable style, threw bursts of energy, trying to catch Goku off guard. But Goku was prepared. He deflected each attack with skill, anticipating the movements of his opponent. As the fight advanced, his power increased, unleashing kicks that exploded in the air like fireworks, creating huge craters in the ground. Frieza would begin to get frustrated. "He's stronger than I thought, but it won't change anything." Frieza screamed, releasing a powerful wave of energy towards Goku. The expansive wave would destroy everything in its path, destroying mountains and throwing rubble to the sky. Goku, however, remained firm, raising his power even more. counterattacking with a Kamehameha. The clash of energies would illuminate the battlefield, creating a blinding glow that would extend for kilometers. Both forces seemed equal, but Goku would begin to gain ground, pushing Frieza's energy back. "This can't be happening," Frieza roared, visibly upset. Frieza would tighten his teeth, increasing his power to avoid being overcome. With a scream of fury, Frieza would begin to release his hidden power. His body would begin to change, and his ki would rise dramatically. "Now you will see my true form of complete power," Frieza said with his tone of voice full of malice. His appearance had changed to its definitive form, smaller and thinner, but the energy emanating was overwhelming. "So this is your final form," Goku said with his eyes closed. "It seems like this is getting interesting." Before Goku could react, Frieza would throw himself at him with a dizzying speed. This time his strength was much greater. He would hit Goku in the stomach, sending him to fly several kilometers before crashing into a mountain. "Kakarot," Bardock said from a distance, observing with concern. But Goku did not give up. He would rise jading, but with eyes full of determination. His body was injured, but his warrior spirit was still burning. "I told you it wouldn't be easy," Goku said to himself, "but I can't allow Frieza to destroy this planet." Goku would begin to concentrate his energy. His golden aura shined with more intensity than ever before. He would close his eyes and let all the power that he had accumulated during his years of training on Earth flow through him. The fight
continued, now more intense than ever. Frieza and Goku would exchange blows that shook the very core of the beautiful planet. Each impact was like an earthquake, shaking mountains, crumbling buildings, and making the spectators in the distance feel insignificant to the unleashed power in front of them. At a critical moment, Frieza would manage to take the lead. He would hit Goku with a series of consecutive attacks that left him seriously injured. Goku Jadianti, he trembled, trying to regain his breath. "This ends here, Kakarot," Frieza said with a sadistic smile, raising a hand while accumulating a ball of energy. "Disappear next to your planet." Frieza's energy ball was big enough to destroy the beautiful planet in a single blow. Goku knew that this was the decisive moment. "I will not let this happen," Goku said, and with all his strength he would begin to load a Genki Dama. He would raise his hands to the sky, gathering the energy of the planet. The bright sphere grew at an alarming rate, while Goku gathered every fragment of energy he could get. Frieza, seeing the huge energy sphere that Goku was creating, frowned. "What the hell is that?" Frieza asked, showing for the first time a pinch of uncertainty. "It is the power of everything that exists," Goku would shout, "and I will use it to defeat you, Frieza." The Genki Dama was ready. Goku, with his hands trembling by the effort, would throw it at Frieza. The huge energy sphere moved slowly, but its power was indescribable. Frieza, knowing that he could not underestimate it, would throw his energy ball in a desperate attempt to counteract it. Both energy spheres would collide in the sky, creating a show of lights and explosions that would illuminate the entire planet. For several seconds, the energies seemed equal, but little by little, Goku's Genki Dama would begin to gain ground. "It cannot be!" Frieza screamed, feeling the weight of defeat approaching. With one last scream, Goku's Genki Dama would surpass Frieza's energy and envelop it completely. The evil Emperor screamed in pain while the energy consumed him. The resulting explosion would be so great that it could be seen from space, a gigantic, expansive wave that shook the planet. When the dust finally settled, Goku was standing, breathing heavily. His body was covered with wounds, and he could hardly stand. He had won, but at a tremendous cost. Frieza, defeated, lay on the ground, barely conscious. He had been surpassed, something he never thought possible. "I told you, Frieza," Goku said with a hoarse voice. "The Saiyans, we are not your slaves,
Never again. With Frieza defeated, Goku knew that the immediate danger had passed, but the future of the planet Vegeta was still uncertain. The battle had left the Saiyans in shock, not knowing how to move forward without their conquest system. Goku, as a new king, he knew that his real fight was just beginning. Changing the mentality of an entire warrior race would not be easy, but he was determined to do it. He knew that the Saiyans could be more than simple tools of destruction, and he was willing to guide his people to a new future, one based on peace and cooperation, not in conflict. The young Prince Vegeta observed everything from a distance. He would squeeze his fists in silence. He knew that Goku was much more powerful than he ever imagined, but the pride of his heart kept him firm in his decision to become stronger. "One day, Kakarot," the Prince Vegeta murmured, "I will be the one to defeat you, and the throne will be mine." But for now, the fate of the planet Vegeta had changed. The Saiyans were no longer slaves of Frieza. With Goku on the throne, a new era of hope began for the Saiyan race. Although the scars of the past would take time to heal, the battle had been won. But the real challenge for Goku and the Saiyans was just beginning. "What are we going to do now?" Nappa said. "If we do not have planets to conquer, how will we survive?" "In the same way that the Earth did, the planet where I come from," Goku said, "with your own resources. Don't worry, I will guide you. From now on, we will cultivate our own food, and we will not risk our lives to survive." Some would support him, while others doubted. The truth is that, in general, there was tranquility. Frieza would open his eyes and try to stand up. Everyone was terrified. "You," Frieza said agonizingly. Goku, without hesitating for a moment, would point to Frieza carrying a ball of energy in his hand. "Frieza, you deserve to die," Goku said. In that way, Goku would disintegrate Frieza with an attack from you. The Emperor of Evil would fall dead in front of everyone. Meanwhile, Vegeta would take a ship to flee from the planet Vegeta. He would go to another planet in search of hard training. "Kakarot, one day I will return, and I will make you pay for this," Vegeta said as he left. The months would pass on the planet Vegeta. Everything seemed to go well. Although there was a lot of tension at first, little by little the Saiyans would get used to living without having to conquer planets. They even felt much more happy to remove that pressure of not knowing if they would come back alive. Goku was gaining more and more popularity as he was known as a king who brought peace to the Saiyans. But peace would not last long. In another distant galaxy, on a small remote planet, Piccolo would be found. He was a last living Namekian created from the merger of the last 100 surviving Namekans. His planet had been conquered by the Saiyans in Frieza's times, and given that, there were no Namekans left there. The last ones escaped and merged. With the goal of seeking revenge, Piccolo trained day and night without rest, and when he felt that his power was enough, he went in search of the Saiyans. Piccolo would take a ship and without hesitation would reach the planet Vegeta. Once there, several Saiyans would receive him. Piccolo would leave his ship, softening his cape. "He's a Namekian," one of the Saiyans said. "It's strange. I thought they had extinguished themselves," another one of the Saiyans said. One of the Saiyans would approach Piccolo, but he would attack him with 2 laser beams that would come out of his eyes. The Saiyan would die instantly. The others would attack Piccolo with everything, but he moved from side to side with great agility. None of the Saiyans could do anything about it. Suddenly, Piccolo would attack each with a blow and eliminate them instantly. "Dirty washclaws, you are useless," Piccolo said seriously. "Now is my time." Piccolo would fly at full speed towards the castle, since that was where he felt the greatest ki. He was looking for Goku's ki. Goku would feel it. "That presence," Goku said confused. "Son, something is happening," Bardock said. "I feel a very large ki, but it seems to be of another species," Goku said. "It's strange. I'm going to investigate." Goku would leave there straight to the meeting with Piccolo. Both would face each other. "Hello," Goku said. "I'm Goku, the king of this planet. Can I help you with something?" "Goku?" Piccolo said. "How strange. I had understood that the king was Vegeta." "Things have changed," Goku said. "Now that I am the king, I have changed the course of—" "I don't care," Piccolo said. "I am Piccolo, the last survivor of the Namekans. Your race exterminated mine, and I came to take revenge for that." "Hey, I'm not aware of that," Goku said. "But let me tell you that we no longer conquer planets. That was with the old king. We don't have to be enemies." "Idiot! Do you think I asked you?" Piccolo said. Piccolo would take off his cape and hat. These would hit hard against the ground, showing their great weight. "I came here to eliminate them all," Piccolo said. Goku watched Piccolo seriously, trying to understand the reasons that led him to seek revenge. He knew that the Saiyans in times of Frieza had committed atrocities, but he did not want to prolong the cycle of hate. "Listen to me, Piccolo," Goku said, keeping his calm but firm posture. "You do not have to follow this path. I myself have faced the past of my people, but now we fight for something different. We are not the same." Piccolo looked at him with contempt while his ki continued to increase. "Shut up, I'm not interested in your empty words. You and your race must pay for what you did," Piccolo, furious, said. "Don't think I'm going to forgive you for this, because I will never do it." Before Goku could respond, Piccolo would throw himself at him with a surprising speed, trying to hit him with a powerful punch. Goku would manage to block the attack, but he would feel the devastating force behind him. Piccolo was not an ordinary opponent. The burst of blows would force Goku to retreat, blocking and deflecting each one with difficulty. "Stop talking to me about redemption. My people did not have that opportunity," Piccolo said. Piccolo would stop Piccolo while throwing a burst of green energy into his hands, hitting Goku and forcing him to rise through the skies to avoid the explosion. "I don't want to fight you," Goku said, moving away momentarily to gain distance. "I know what happened was wrong, but I can't let you continue this way. We must stop this fight before it's too late."
But Piccolo did not hear reasons. His hatred fueled his power, and in an instant he would appear in front of Goku again, hitting him with a rotating kick that would send him to crash against the nearby mountain. The impact would cause the earth to tremble and the rocks to collapse around him. Goku would emerge from the rubble with a shaky breath, but his gaze was still full of determination. "If you continue like this, I will have no choice but to fight seriously," Goku said, while his golden aura began to shine with greater intensity. "That's what I want, Saiyajin," Piccolo said, raising his arms to the sky. A gigantic energy sphere would begin to form on him, pulsating with a dark power. "You are going to pay for each one of mine that your race exterminated." Without further warning, Piccolo would launch the gigantic sphere towards Goku, whose power was so overwhelming that the clouds around the planet would begin to scatter. Goku, knowing that he could not underestimate it, would prepare quickly. Goku screamed, gathering all his power in his hands, and would launch a Kamehameha. The ray of energy of Goku would launch with force towards Piccolo's sphere. Both energies would collide in the middle of the sky, creating an expansive wave that would extend for kilometers. The Saiyans on the planet could feel it shaking. The power was immeasurable. The two warriors would put all their strength into the attack, but Goku began to take the lead. Piccolo, seeing that his attack was being overcome, would tighten his teeth and release even more energy, but it wasn't enough. With a final scream, Goku's Kamehameha would cross Piccolo's sphere, destroying it completely. The explosion would shake the battlefield, and Goku, breathing heavily, would slowly descend to the ground. Piccolo was shaking, clearly weakened, but still full of rage. Despite his condition, he was not willing to give up. "You're strong," Piccolo said, getting up with difficulty, "but you can't redeem your race. I will never forgive them." Goku would slowly approach with his breathing even heavier due to the effort, but his eyes showed compassion. "You don't have to forgive us, Piccolo. I understand why you feel this way,
But I promise you that I'm not like the Saiyans who hurt you. You don't have to go through this cycle of violence. Please, stop, Goku said. I want to give you a chance, because I know my race made a mistake with yours, but you have to accept it. Otherwise, we will only follow the path of destruction. Piccolo stared at him for a moment. His expression was still full of hatred. However, something in Goku's words seemed to have penetrated his anger. Despite everything, he would realize that Goku was not lying. I don't understand, Piccolo murmured, finally falling on his knees exhausted. My people, everything I knew was destroyed. How can you expect me to forget that? Goku would kneel in front of him, looking at the horizon. I don't hope you forget it. What happened was terrible, and nothing can change that. But you can choose not to let it consume you. The Namkeans were a peaceful people, always looking for balance. You can honor your memory by living for something greater than revenge, Goku said. Silence took over the battlefield. Piccolo, still full of pain, would lower his head. I never thought a Saiyan could speak like that, Piccolo said. I'm not like the other Saiyans, Goku said with a kind smile. I grew up on Earth. There I learned that peace is the most important thing, and that we can always find a new way of living without destroying each other. Earth, Piccolo said. I have heard of that planet. For a moment, Piccolo would remain silent, but then he would slowly stand up. Although his anger had not completely disappeared, there was something in Goku's sincerity that made him doubt. He knew he could not defeat him, and something in his heart told him that he should not try anymore. Kakarot, this does not end here, Piccolo would finally say with his soft but firm voice, but I will leave you alone for now. I have no strength to continue fighting, but one day I will return, and at that moment, I will decide if I can forgive you or not, Piccolo said. Goku agreed without a trace of hostility. I understand. When that day comes, I hope we can solve this without fighting, Goku said. Also, I would like you to call me Goku. It was the name I adopted on Earth. That symbolizes the change of my planet. Well, I will call you Goku, Piccolo said. Piccolo, with a last look of challenge, would turn around and begin to walk towards his ship. The Saiyans who had witnessed the battle from a distance remained silent, amazed by the resolution of the fight. Goku, despite everything, had found a way to avoid destruction. When Piccolo finally disappears in the skies, Goku would drop to the ground, exhausted. He knew that he had managed to avoid a tragedy, but he was also aware that Piccolo was not the only one with Grundas against the Saiyans.
The past of his people was still chasing them, and although he had managed to save the present, the future was still uncertain. As he looked towards the horizon, Goku knew that there was still a lot to do. His path as a king had just begun, and although he had brought temporary peace to the beautiful planet, he knew that not all conflicts could be resolved so easily. But one thing was certain: he would always choose to fight for peace, regardless of the challenges that came. And so Goku would return to the castle where his father and the others were waiting for him. Over time, the name of Piccolo would become a symbol of the change they needed, and although the immediate danger had waned, the real battle for the hearts of the Saiyans had just begun. Piccolo would go back to his new planet after the Namek planet was used by another race. He would begin to evaluate and separate into the 100 Namekians who were initially to continue with his race. But 2 years later, an unexpected visit would arrive. It was Vegeta. So you were Piccolo, Vegeta said. Who asks? Piccolo said. Do you come from Goku? Kakarot, you mean, Vegeta said. Piccolo watched Vegeta closely. He already looked like a young adult, but his image reminded him of King Vegeta, the King Vegeta who had been the one who destroyed his planet in person. You, Piccolo said out loud. Bastard, you were the one who destroyed my planet. That's my father, Vegeta said, the former King Vegeta. But let me tell you something. I'm not like that stupid Kakarot. I am proud to destroy other races. Damned bastard, Piccolo said between teeth. You are nothing compared to Goku. Kakarot, Vegeta said. I can't believe that fool left you alive. But that is something that I will solve right now.
Piccolo would undoubtedly raise his ki to the maximum. He would throw everything at Vegeta, reaching him with a strong punch. But Vegeta would dodge the attack by moving aside. "How?" Piccolo said, disconcerted. "You were very slow," Vegeta said. Piccolo would attack without stopping, throwing blows at great speed, but Vegeta, with his arms crossed, managed to evade each of the attacks without establishing the slightest contact. After this, Piccolo would notice that his power was not enough. "I can't die here without separating, or on the contrary, there will be no more Namekians," Piccolo thought. Piccolo would throw a ball to the ground to generate a great dust and distract Vegeta, but when he ran away from there, Vegeta was in front of him, out of nowhere. "How?" Piccolo said, disconcerted. "You were very slow," Vegeta said. Piccolo would attack without stopping, throwing blows at great speed, but Vegeta, with his arms crossed, managed to evade each of the attacks without establishing the slightest contact. After this, Piccolo would notice that his power was not enough. "I can't die here without separating, or on the contrary, there will be no more Namekians," Piccolo thought. Piccolo would throw a ball to the ground to generate a great dust and distract Vegeta, but when he ran away from there, Vegeta was in front of him, out of nowhere. "How?" Piccolo said, disconcerted. "You were a fool if you think you can escape from me," Vegeta said. "Now you will have what you deserve." Vegeta would hit Piccolo's stomach hard. He would spit some blood, put his eyes in white, and fall to the ground. Then Vegeta would fall with his knees on his neck, ending Piccolo's life for good. "Idiot, you're just a simple insect," Vegeta said. The next day on the planet Vegeta, Goku was training until his training was interrupted by one of his men. "King Goku, a combat capsule is heading here," Nappa said. "What do you mean a combat capsule?" Goku said, confused. "It's one of those we use to travel to other planets to invade," Nappa said. "They were in the power of Frieza's army, so it can only be one of his soldiers." "Why would they come with one of them here?" Goku said. Goku and Nappa would go to the place where the capsule was about to land, but Goku felt something strange. "There's no one inside," Goku said. "What do you mean?" Nappa said. "There's no one inside. I don't feel anyone's ki," Goku said. "That's impossible," Nappa said. "It is, and his traveler died on the way," Goku said. "The ship finally lands, but obviously no one gets off it." Then Goku would open it, bumping into the last thing he expected to see. It was Piccolo's body. "Piccolo?" Goku said, horrified. "Could it be a message?" Bardock said. On the walls of the capsule there was a symbol corresponding to the Vegeta family. It was a message from Vegeta telling him that he could defeat Piccolo and that he would come for him. Vegeta? He's the son of King Vegeta. "That's why I told you it was not a good idea to leave him alive," Bardock said. "Damned Vegeta. As soon as I find him, he will pay me," Goku said. On the other hand, Vegeta was far away, meditating and studying the moment to attack. His training had been very hard, and he had even risked his life in it. But he only had one purpose: eliminate Goku, whatever it takes, and recover his crown. "Kakarot, I will claim the crown and I will eliminate you for the humiliation you gave my father," Vegeta said to himself. And so Vegeta sets off on a journey to the planet Vegeta, ready to fulfill his revenge. The news of Piccolo's death continued to impact Goku while he observed the inert body of Piccolo in the combat capsule. The echo of Vegeta's words on the ship's walls resonated in his mind, which said, "I will come for you, Kakarot." Bardock, who observed with his usual hardness, still believed that the decision to leave Piccolo alive had been a mistake. However, Goku did not regret having tried to create a truce with the Namekian. His goal had always been to put an end to hate cycles. But now, the son of King Vegeta had revived the flames of conflict. This does not make sense, Goku thought, observing the serene face of Piccolo despite the brutality of his death. Piccolo had not just been an enemy, he had been someone who housed a deep complexity and with whom Goku had come to connect on some level. Now the cycle of revenge seemed to have resumed, this time at the hands of Vegeta, the proud Prince Saiyan. Goku would stand up slowly, while a storm of emotions hit inside him. He could not allow Piccolo's death to go unnoticed.
He knew that Vegeta was on his way, and the clash between the two was inevitable. "What are you going to do?" Bardock asked with his firm voice, but in a shadow of concern. "I'm going to fight," Goku would answer without losing sight of the horizon. "I have no choice. If Vegeta wants revenge, I will face him. But I will not let him drag me into hatred." Goku would turn to his father, who had fought all his life, first as a soldier at the service of King Vegeta, and then as a warrior who sought the redemption of his people. Bardock slowly accepted, recognizing the decision of his son, although he knew that this would be a battle of epic proportions. "Train carefully," warned Bardock. "Vegeta has changed a lot since the last time we saw him. If he is trained as hard as it seems, it will not be easy to defeat him." Goku, aware of what was approaching, he decides to retire to prepare. Despite his peaceful nature, Vegeta understood the importance of strength in this conflict. They would spend the following days training intensely, meditating and perfecting his power, not only to face Vegeta, but also to protect his planet, his people, and his ideals that he valued so much. In the heart of the planet Vegeta, the skies were strangely calm, but all the inhabitants could feel the imminence of the conflict. The rumor of Vegeta's arrival spread quickly among the Saiyan warriors, who were preparing to witness a battle that would decide the fate of their future king. Goku spent long hours training in the desolate paramos of the planet, where he could release his power without limits. Bardock, always vigilant, observed from a distance. Impressed by the determination of his son, there was no doubt that Goku was at the peak of his power, but there was an uncertainty that surrounded his mind. How strong had Vegeta become? The answer would come at night, when a flash of light would break the darkness. Vegeta's combat capsule quickly descended into the sky, landing with a thunder that would shake the entire ground. The silhouette of Prince Saiyan emerged from the dust, with a presence that would immediately cause the Saiyan warriors to retreat. Vegeta, now more muscular and with a sharper face, he walked with unbreakable confidence. He had spent years training, facing unimaginable dangers, and subjecting himself to intense training, all for that moment. When Goku finally arrived, his aura emanated a pure, tangible, and threatening power. "We finally meet, Kakarot," Vegeta said with a smile of superiority, with his tone full of contempt. Goku looked at him calmly, although he could not help but notice the intimidating aura that surrounded Vegeta. The prince was not the same warrior he had met in the past. He had changed, and not only physically. There was a hardness in his gaze that was not there before, a coldness that revealed horrors and sacrifices in his training. "Vegeta, you don't have to do this," Goku would begin to say, trying once again to avoid conflict. "I know your father did terrible things, but I don't want to continue with that path of hatred. I don't want to drag you into his fate." "Shut up, Kakarot," Vegeta grunted, with his ki increasing abruptly. "I'm not here for you to sermonize me or to teach me this moral. I'm here because I want what is mine by right, the crown and your head. Today I will end what my father started." With a furious cry, Vegeta would charge at Goku with overwhelming speed.
The first blow would be so fast that Goku could barely react, blocking it just in time. But the force behind the attack would push him several meters back. His speed has increased, Goku thought, surprised by the intensity of the attack. Still, he would not lose his composure. He knew that this battle would be harder than any other he had faced before. Vegeta would not give up, throwing a burst of blows and kicks with a terrifying precision. Goku defended himself as best he could, but Vegeta's power was overwhelming. Each blow resonated like a thunder, shaking the ground under his feet. The battle quickly intensified, with both warriors disappearing and reappearing in different parts of the field, colliding with a speed and strength that only the Saiyans could reach. The sky was filled with flashes of energy, and the echoes of the attacks resonated all over the planet. The Saiyan warriors watched in amazement from a distance, unable to follow the rhythm of the battle with their eyes. Goku would finally find an opening and throw a direct punch to Vegeta's stomach, but Vegeta blocked it with his knee, immediately launching a counterattack with a burst of energy to the battlefield that would force Goku to retreat. Vegeta would follow him quickly, hitting Goku in the air with a series of punches that would send him flying to the ground, creating a crater in the impact. Goku, yelling, would get up from the crater with torn clothes and bloodstains on his face, but his spirit was still intact. "Vegeta, you are much stronger than I expected," Goku said, getting up and lighting his aura. "But I'm not going to let you destroy everything I have fought for." Vegeta had reached a power comparable to that of Goku, but there was something else.
An insatiable impulse for victory. Both warriors would charge one another again. This time Goku received it with all his strength, and the impact of his fists would create shockwaves that destroyed the landscape. Vegeta, fed by his hatred and pride, he showed a refined combat ability, anticipating Goku's movements and responding with calculated brutality. The fight continued for hours, and although Goku had reached a new level of power, Vegeta matched him in every exchange. The fight became a duel of wills, with each one looking for any weakness that could explode. The Saiyans crossed mountains, they destroyed landscapes and moved oceans with their attacks. But in the middle of the battle, Goku would begin to notice something. Although Vegeta was incredibly powerful, he had broken something inside him. His obsession with revenge, with his crown, it was consuming it, blinding him to anything else. "Vegeta," Goku said in a moment of respite, "you don't have to continue on this path. There is still time to change." Vegeta, angry, responded with a roar of anger, launching a giant ray of energy that would force Goku to retreat. "Shut up, Kakarot. You have no right to tell me how to live. I will not rest until I see you dead," Vegeta said out loud. Both warriors would charge their final attacks. Vegeta, with his hand raised, gathers a huge sphere of energy, while Goku prepared his Kamehameha, more powerful to date. The two attacks would collide in the air, generating an explosion of energy that illuminated the entire planet Vegeta. The moment seemed decisive. The entire planet trembled before the power of both warriors. The Saiyans feared for their lives. They felt that if the battle continued, the planet would fall into chaos. But even so, neither Goku nor Vegeta stopped. "Kakarot, die," Vegeta said by forcing his ki and gaining an advantage. Goku felt that Vegeta's attack was coming at him, but something within him would take out all his power. "I can't let the beautiful planet fall again." Goku, desperate, said. Goku's ki would begin to surround itself with golden energy. Little by little, his Kamehameha would gain more intensity. Vegeta could not believe what he saw. "It's not true," Vegeta said, disconcerted. Suddenly, Goku's hair would turn golden for a moment. Vegeta saw him disconcerted. He had heard it in legends, but he had never seen it in person. It was the Super Saiyan. After a scream of fury, Goku's Kamehameha would double in size, and after this he would defeat Vegeta's attack. Vegeta would be fired away, being seriously injured. At the end, Goku's hair would return to normal. He would fall on his knees due to the excess of energy expenditure. "Someone, go after him," Goku said with a strong dizziness.
Bardock and the others would approach Goku to assist him. "Are you okay?" Bardock said. "Go after Vegeta. He must be agonizing." Goku said, "Don't leave him alive. He doesn't deserve it after this." "I think you're right," Nappa said. "Okay, we'll split up. Although we can track him," Bardock said. Bardock, Nappa, and other Saiyans would set off on a journey. Each one would take a path to find Vegeta. Meanwhile, Vegeta was lying on the ground with his body full of wounds. He couldn't even stand up. "This is humiliating," Vegeta said while he felt like his life was slipping away. Suddenly, he would feel some steps, understanding that he was a Saiyan. "If you're going to do it now," Vegeta said. "How interesting," Beerus the god of destruction said. "You seem promising." "Who are you?" Vegeta said. "Wow, you don't even remember me," Beerus said. "It seems you forgot that time I humiliated your father." "You," Vegeta said, who seemed to recognize him. "Beerus, we don't have much time," Whis said next to him. "Yes, it's true," Beerus said. "Let's go." Whis would hit his staff on the ground. "That way the three would be sent to heaven," Beerus said. Nappa would arrive just in time to see them. "This has to be a joke," Nappa said, terrified. That was Beerus, the god of destruction. Nappa would return telling all the details. Goku was more stable, although he was still recovering. "Nappa, are you sure of what you're saying?" Goku said. "Of course," Nappa said. "I saw him in the last second. He was the god of destruction. He took Vegeta." "Why would he take him?" Bardock said. "I don't know. I thought he was going to eliminate him, but he saved him," Nappa said. "Goku, if that's what I think, Beerus supports Vegeta. That would be a problem for everyone." "Damn, this is getting worse," Goku said. "I just have to train harder. It's not like I have many more options." "You could use that Super Saiyan again," Bardock said. "I don't know. I never heard of that. I guess I'll have to put it to the test," Goku said. Vegeta would slowly wake up, feeling his body lighter than he remembered. He had been at the gates of death, but now he was inexplicably recovered. The last thing he remembered was the brutal defeat at the hands of Goku, and the sound of his own breath interrupted when life escaped him. Now, something had happened. He opened his eyes, and to his surprise, he was not on the planet Vegeta, but in a completely different place. He was in a vast and beautiful plain, with purple skies and a serene atmosphere. In the distance, he saw a familiar figure, Beerus, the god of destruction. "Finally, awake," Beerus said in a calm and powerful voice. Vegeta immediately joined, with his eyes full of challenge. His pride had been trampled, but he wouldn't let that define him. The Prince Saiyan had always been the first to get up after a defeat. "What is all this? Why am I not dead?" Vegeta asked, trying to understand the situation. Beerus, with a carefree expression, would take a few steps towards him.
"I saved you. To tell you the truth, I don't like to lose promising warriors so easily. Although you were defeated, I saw potential in you. A potential that I can mold for my own benefit," Beerus said. "So I saved you for me." Vegeta looked at him with disbelief. "Your benefit? What the hell do you want from me?" Vegeta said as he stood up. Vegeta looked distrustful of the situation. He knew who Beerus was. Beerus would smile lazily. "I'm tired of traveling from one side to the other to destroy planets. Like the god of destruction, I have responsibilities, but I'm not always in the mood to fulfill them. I want someone to do it for me. A servant with enough strength to destroy whatever is asked of him. And you, Vegeta, can be that warrior. I will help you obtain a power that even Goku can't achieve," Beerus said. Vegeta would squeeze his fists. The humiliation of his defeat still burned inside him. But Beerus's offer was tempting. He, the prince of the Saiyans. A warrior with the power of a god. The idea moved him. "And what do I have to do?" Vegeta asked with his voice full of ambition. Beerus would exchange a look with Whis, who was nearby watching the conversation with a serene smile. "You will train here, on my planet. Whis will teach you how to control the ki of a god. And when you have reached that power, You will be stronger than any Saiyan that has ever existed, Beerus said. You can't reject this offer. It's the opportunity of your life. Vegeta would not hesitate to accept. The desire to overcome Goku and take revenge consumed him. He would do what was necessary to be the strongest and recover the crown. Of course I accept, Vegeta said. The training under the tutelage of Whis would be ruthless. Vegeta had believed that he already knew the pain and the difficulty, but what he would experience on the planet of Beerus surpassed everything he had lived before. Whis not only taught him to control his power, but he constantly challenged him to overcome his own limits. The concept of the divine ki was something completely new for Vegeta. Unlike the normal ki that he had trained all his life, the ki of a god required a connection with the deepest energies of the universe. It was a power that not only amplified his physical strength, but it gave him access to new levels of speed, resistance, and perception that he had not imagined. For months, Whis subjected him to fights against impossible creatures. He forced him to train in gravitational fields beyond any measure he knew, and he put him in situations where each decision determined his survival. Vegeta would learn to master the divine ki, and with him, he would become Super Saiyan God, a form that elevated his power to unimaginable heights. Meanwhile, on the planet Vegeta, Goku also trained with a fierce dedication. He knew that Vegeta had not died, and sooner or later, he would return. He felt responsible for letting him escape, and the possibility that Vegeta would return with a greater power than he had to train hard if he wanted to protect the planet Vegeta. For 2 years, Goku would train intensely. Despite having reached the Super Saiyan, he knew it was not enough. His body adapts and exceeds the limits of the Super Saiyan, evolving the Super Saiyan Phase 2, a transformation that had tremendous strength and overwhelming speed. However, even while monotone dominated this form, Goku felt that there was something else, something that he had not yet reached. As much as it makes me stronger, I feel that something blocks my power, as if it were giving a stop. Goku thought. 2 long years would pass, and the peace that Goku had defended on the planet Vegeta seemed stable. But then, once again, the skies of the planet would darken with the arrival of a combat capsule. This time, however, it was not a common arrival. The Saiyan warriors would feel a presence that sealed their souls. The power that emanated from that capsule was colossal, beyond anything they had experienced. It cannot be, Goku said. Son, it's what I think, Bardock said. Goku was training when he felt it. He would stop dry with his breath interspersing for a second. He knew right away who it was. Vegeta, Goku murmured, feeling how the air around him was charged with tension. The capsule lands, and from it emerges Prince Saiyan. Vegeta had changed. His hair, which was black before, now shone with a reddish aura, and his expression was that of a warrior who no longer knows limits. He had reached the Super Saiyan God, a form with which he directly decides to arrive to avoid surprises. The Saiyans watched from a distance, retreating by their power. Nobody dared to approach. Although they could not track their ki, with just stepping on the ground, the earth moved away from their feet, as if it repelled their great undetectable energy. Finally returned, Kakarot, Vegeta said with his voice resonating in a mixture of anger and satisfaction. I have trained for 2 years, and now I am a god." Goku would walk towards him with a determined look. He knew that this was the moment he had been waiting for. The confrontation was inevitable. Although he himself had reached Super Saiyan 2, something inside him told him that it would not be enough. "It does not matter how strong you are, Vegeta," Goku said with his firm but calm voice. "I will not let you destroy what we have built after repairing so much damage you have caused to the Saiyans." Vegeta smiled with contempt. "Do not worry, Kakarot. I do not come to destroy the planet. I come for you," Vegeta said. "After that, I will reign the planet under a new regime." Without further ado, Vegeta would launch the attack. The speed of his advance was overwhelming, and Goku would barely have time to react. The two Saiyans would collide with devastating force, and the earth under their feet trembled at the impact. Goku counterattacked, releasing the power of the Super Saiyan Phase 2. But from the first exchange of blows, it would be seen that he was at a disadvantage. Vegeta was not only faster, but his divine kick was incredibly dense and sharp. What made each blow resonate with a force that Goku could barely resist. The battle broke out in the sky, on land, and at sea. The Saiyans watched from a distance, unable to understand the magnitude of the power that both warriors unleashed. The form of Vegeta's Super Saiyan God gave him an overwhelming advantage. His movements were precise, calculated, and each attack of Goku seemed useless against the relentless defense of his rival. Goku, Hadiante, would step back a few steps while trying to regain his breath. Despite being in his most powerful form, the difference in power was evident. "You can't beat me, Kakarot," Vegeta said in a cold tone. "I have attained the power of a god. You, on the other hand, are only an improved Saiyan. You are nothing more than that." Goku would squeeze his teeth, feeling the pressure of the battle, but inside something told him that he should not give up. He had faced impossible challenges before, and he had always found a way to overcome them. "I'm not done yet," Goku said, with his aura increasing in intensity. "I don't care how strong you are, there will always be a way to overcome you." With a scream of fury, Goku gathered all his power and launched a massive Kamehameha, a technique improved by his state of Super Saiyan 2. The attack resonated all over the planet, creating a surge of energy that directed directly towards Vegeta. But Vegeta, unperturbed, would raise a hand and stop the attack with a disconcerting ease. His divine ki would envelop him, protecting him from any damage. "That's all you have?" Vegeta said with a cruel smile. "Let me show you the true power of a god." Vegeta would charge his own attack, a sphere of pure energy that shone with blinding red light. Without mercy, he would throw it at Goku, who would barely have time to defend himself. The impact would be devastating, and Goku would be thrown into the air, crashing violently against the ground. The earth trembled, and a cloud of dust would rise by the impact. The entire planet would be paralyzed for a moment. Goku would fall to the ground, losing his transformation. "Damn, this is too much," Goku said. Goku would stand up with great difficulty. His body lost blood to a great extent. Meanwhile, Vegeta would walk towards Goku with a big, confident smile. "I told you! I deserve to be the new king," Vegeta said. "You are useless." "Vegeta, damn bastard, this was Beerus's work," Goku said. "Wait a minute! How do you know?" Vegeta said furiously. Nappa would be terrified, since he had been the one who saw him. "That doesn't matter," Goku said. "Vegeta, why would the god of destruction use you? Don't you realize that he's using you?" Vegeta would throw a laser to Goku's shoulder.
he would suffer a great wound to the point of no longer being able to move his arm. "Goku!" Bardock said desperately. Bardock would try to go help his son, but the others would stop him.
An insatiable impulse for victory. Both warriors would charge one another again. This time Goku received it with all his strength. And the impact of his fists would create shockwaves that destroyed the landscape. Vegeta, fed by his hatred and pride, he showed a refined combat ability, anticipating Goku's movements and responding with calculated brutality. The fight continued for hours, and although Goku had reached a new level of power, Vegeta matched him in every exchange. The fight became a duel of wills, with each one looking for any weakness that could explode. The Saiyans crossed mountains, they destroyed landscapes, and moved oceans with their attacks. But in the middle of the battle, Goku would begin to notice something. Although Vegeta was incredibly powerful, he had broken something inside him. His obsession with revenge, with his crown, he was consuming it, blinding him to anything else. "Vegeta," Goku said in a moment of respite, "you don't have to continue on this path. There is still time to change." Vegeta, angry, responded with a roar of anger, launching a giant ray of energy that would force Goku to retreat. "Shut up, Kakarot! You have no right to tell me how to live. I will not rest until I see you dead," Vegeta said out loud. Both warriors would charge their final attacks. Vegeta, with his hand raised, gathers a huge sphere of energy while Goku prepared his Kamehameha, more powerful to date. The two attacks would collide in the air, generating an explosion of energy that illuminated the entire planet Vegeta. The moment seemed decisive. The entire planet trembled before the power of both warriors. The Saiyans feared for their lives. They felt that if the battle continued, the planet would fall into chaos. But even so, neither Goku nor Vegeta stopped. "Kakarot, die!" Vegeta said, by forcing his ki and gaining an advantage. Goku felt that Vegeta's attack was coming at him, but something within him would take out all his power. "I can't let the beautiful planet fall again," Goku desperately said. Goku's ki would begin to surround itself with golden energy. Little by little, his Kamehameha would gain more intensity. Vegeta could not believe what he saw. "It's not true," Vegeta said, disconcerted. Suddenly, Goku's hair would turn golden for a moment. Vegeta saw him disconcerted. He had heard it in legends, but he had never seen it in person. It was the Super Saiyan. After a scream of fury, Goku's Kamehameha would double in size, and after this, he would defeat Vegeta's attack. Vegeta would be fired away, being seriously injured. At the end, Goku's hair would return to normal. He would fall on his knees due to the excess of energy expenditure. "Someone, go after him," Goku said with a strong dizziness. Bardock and the others would approach Goku to assist him. "Are you okay?" Bardock said. "Go after Vegeta. He must be agonizing," Goku said. "Don't leave him alive. He doesn't deserve it after this." "I think you're right," Nappa said. "Okay, we'll split up, although we can track him," Bardock said. Bardock, Nappa, and other Saiyans would set off on a journey. Each one would take a path to find Vegeta. Meanwhile, Vegeta was lying on the ground with his body full of wounds. He couldn't even stand up. "This is humiliating," Vegeta said, while he felt like his life was slipping away. Suddenly he would feel some steps, understanding that he was a Saiyan. "If you're going to do it now," Vegeta said. "How interesting." Beerus, the god of destruction, said, "You seem promising. Who are you?" Vegeta said. "Ooh, you don't even remember me," Beerus said. "It seems you forgot that time I humiliated your father." "You?" Vegeta said, who seemed to recognize him.
"Beerus, we don't have much time," Whis said next to him. "Yes, it's true," Beerus said. "Let's go." Whis would hit his staff on the ground. That way, the three would be sent to heaven, Beerus said. Nappa would arrive just in time to see them. "This has to be a joke," Nappa said, terrified. That was Beerus, the god of destruction. Nappa would return telling all the details. Goku was more stable, although he was still recovering. "Nappa, are you sure of what you're saying?" Goku said. "Of course," Nappa said. "I saw him in the last second. He was the god of destruction. He took Vegeta." "Why would he take him?" Bardock said. "I don't know. I thought he was going to eliminate him, but he saved him," Nappa said. "Goku, if that's what I think, Beerus supports Vegeta. That would be a problem for everyone." "Damn, this is getting worse," Goku said. "I just have to train harder. It's not like I have many other options." "You could use that Super Saiyan again," Bardock said. "I don't know. I never heard of that. I guess I'll have to put it to the test," Goku said. Vegeta would slowly wake up, feeling his body lighter than he remembered. He had been at the gates of death, but now he was unexplainably recovered. The last thing he remembered was the brutal defeat at the hands of Goku, and the sound of his own breath interrupted while life escaped him. Now, something had happened. He opened his eyes, and to his surprise, he was not on the planet Vegeta, but in a completely different place. He was in a vast and beautiful plain with purple skies and a serene atmosphere. In the distance, he saw a familiar figure, Beerus, the god of destruction. "Finally awake," Beerus said in a calm and powerful voice. Vegeta immediately joined, with his eyes full of challenge. His pride had been trampled, but he wouldn't let that define him. The Prince Saiyan had always been the first to get up after a defeat. "What is all this? Why am I not dead?" Vegeta asked, trying to understand the situation. Beerus, with a carefree expression, would take a few steps towards him. They knew he could do nothing about it. "Bardock, don't be stupid. You'll only make everything worse," Nappa said. "Let me go," Bardock Furious said. Vegeta would notice Bardock's attitude. "Wow, it looks like your father is very nervous," Vegeta said. "It would be a shame if something happened to him." Vegeta would point at Bardock, creating a small ball at the tip of his finger. "Vegeta, don't do it," Goku Furious said. "How strange. If you did the same with mine," Vegeta said. "Don't you remember? This is what you deserve for messing with me." Vegeta would shoot his attack at Bardock, but it would only hit his feet, throwing everyone away. "Wow, I think I failed," Vegeta laughed while torturing Goku. "You're a damn bastard. Do you think you're funny?" Goku Furious said. On the other hand, on the planet of Beerus, the god of destruction and the angel would see it all. "Wow, it looks like everything is going according to plan," Whis said. "I knew it. Vegeta has great potential," Beerus said. "Thanks to him, my sleeps will be longer." What will happen now that Vegeta is about to destroy Goku? Will Goku be able to do something? And even more importantly, what will happen to the planet Vegeta? All that we will know in the next part of this theory. Friends, I hope you liked the movie of Goku, the King of the Saiyans. Remember that if you want to see more parts of this theory, this video has to reach 100 likes and many comments, and I will upload more parts and movies if necessary. Leave your like, comment, and subscribe for more theories. See you in a next video.
subscribe.